Good morning, friends. Already we have started the topic gravitation. In that, we have studied the introductory part. In the introductory part, we have studied the definition of the gravitational force as well as the characteristics of the gravitational force. After that, we have studied about the planetary motions of the based on the Kepler's law. Then we have studied the Kepler's first law, second law, and third law. We have also studied the equations regarding with the Kepler's law. Friends, due to the COVID-19, we have started the online lectures. So if anyone have any kind of the difficulties regarding with the notes or syllabus, then all teachers are available in the college from 10 to 1. Then you can contact with the teachers. Let us start the new point of the topic gravitation, that is a Newton's law of gravitation. Friends, I am giving the notes here in the format of the question and answers, so it will be very easier for you to make the notes. So write the notes properly and read the notes twice or thrice so that you will understood that concept properly. Okay, now we'll begin with the next point of the topic, that is Newton's law of gravitation. Friends, the Newton's law of gravitation says that every particle of a matter attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So, in order to understood, let us consider this is a one point having the mass m1. This is another point having the mass m2. These 2 points masses are separated by the distance r. So again I am going to explain it in the proper way. Consider a small point m1 and m2. They are separated by the distance r. Now what does the law say? That the force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of their masses. F directly proportional to the m1 multiplied by m2. Directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So F inversely proportional to the r square. So if we combine this, we can write this law as F directly proportional to the m1 m2 upon r square, where m1 and m2 these are the two masses and r is the distance between them. So clearly you will understand that the force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Friends, remember whenever we are writing the mathematical form, then the product or the direct proportional quantity will be written at the numerator and the inverse proportional quantity will be written at the denominator. So m1 m2 r will be at the numerator place and r square will be at the denominator. So this is a Newton's law of gravitation statement, that every particle of a matter attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Friends, if we want to remove the proportionality symbol, so F directly proportional to the m1 m2 upon r square, you can write F is equals to capital G m1 m2 upon r square. So I can write this once again. So F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square, where capital G is a constant and this constant is known as the gravitational constant. So this gravitational constant have the constant value of 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So this is a universal gravitational constant. So friends, Again, I am going to repeat this law. So the question may be asked in the examination: state the Newton's law of gravitation. So the Newton's law of gravitation says that every particle of a matter attract every other particle of a matter with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So this is a statement regarding with the Newton's law of gravitation. Friends, now we'll move to the next part of this topic, that is discuss the vector form of the Newton's law of discuss the vector form of the gravitational force between two masses with the help of the diagram. So here we have to explain the Newton's law of gravitation with the help of the diagram, and here we have drawn the vector diagram. So already we have studied the topics scalar and vector. In that we have got regarding with the idea how to represent the vector. So consider two point masses m1 and m2 having the position vector r1 and r2 from O respectively as shown in the figure. So you can observe that from origin it is r1 and this is a r2. The position between the position vectors of the mass m2 with respect to m1. So position of m2 with respect to m1 can be given as a distance r21, which means r2 minus r1. So we have to take out the difference between the two. Similarly, the position of vectors of mass m1 with respect to m2. So when we are writing r12, so that is a r1 minus r2. So r21 means r2 minus r1 and r12 means the r1 minus r2. Remember, the though the sign is different, the magnitude will remain the same. Suppose this distance is 1 meter, then if we will measure from m1 to m2 or m2 to the m1, then it will always remain the 1 meter. So there is a no change. Only if we are moving from m1 to m2, suppose it is a plus m, then my m2 to m1 in the vector format it will become a minus 1. So its sign will be the different, but the magnitude will remain the same. So that thing will be explained there, and this magnitude is nothing but the r. So this distance is nothing but the r. So let r is equals to r12 is equals to magnitude of r21. So these two lines will indicate about the magnitude. The force acting on m2 due to the m1. Now force acting on m2. So here force acting on m2 due to the m1. So this force is acting on the second particle due to the first can be represented with the symbol F21. So how we can read here? The force acting on the second due to the first, that is a F21, is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square, and we are measuring the distance from 2 to 1. So vector is moving from 2 to 1. So 2 to 1 we can write here. So this is the force acting on the second to the first. Now vector r21 is a unit vector from the mass m1 to m2. The force F21 is directed from m2 to m1. So this is the direction of the force. Similarly, the force expressed by m1 to m2, the force acting on the first particle due to the second, can be expressed as F12 is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. Now here the directional vector is from 1 to 2. So here if we compare, we can observe that both the forces have equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. That's why the last statement is F21 is equals to, here F21 is equals to F12. So overall what we can say, that the forces will remain the same here. So our conclusion is that F12 is equals to minus F21. The force acting on first to second is equals to the force acting on second to first. Both are equal in magnitude but direction is opposite. So this is the explanation of the Newton's law of gravitation in the format of the vector quantity. Friends, if someone have any kind of the confusion, then he may write up to this also, so that he can get the clear cut idea regarding with the gravitational force. So these two masses m1 and m2 are separated by the distance r21. Then the f21 force acting on the second due to the first is equals to g m1 m2 upon r square, and the unit vector is directed from 2 to the 1. So 2 to the 1 distance will be measured. That's why we have applied the negative sign. So this is the discussion of the gravitational force between the two masses with the help of the diagram. Now we'll move to the next point of this topic, that is a very interesting question. So this question says, why is the law of gravitation known as the universal law of gravitation? So why it is known as the universal law of gravitation? So the law of gravitation is applicable to all material of the objects in the universe, hence it is known as the universal law of gravitation. So when we are saying the material objects, means the total materials which are present on the surface of the earth or above the surface of the earth, so it is applicable there. Suppose if one object is in the sky, and then also the gravitation force is present there. Again, if an object is inside the water, then also gravitation force is present. So we can take the example also which I have explained in the introductory part, that the gravitational force will affect on the surface of the moon, on the surface of earth. So what we can say, it is applicable for the large bodies which are away from the surface of the earth. So it is also known as a universal law of gravitation. So the gravitation law is applicable for to all the material objects in the universe, hence it is known as a universal law of gravitation. So this is one small question, friends. This question may be asked for the 1 mark type, then you can write the answer in detail. Now we'll move to the next point of this topic, that is, what do you mean by gravitational constant and state its SI unit? Okay, so here this is a very important questions from this topic regarding with the what is meaning of the gravitational constant. Friends, when we are writing the gravitational constant, as I have told you, the Newton's law of gravitation, that's every particle of a matter attracts every other particle with a force. Suppose m1 and m2, these are the 2 points separated by the distance r. This is m1 and the m2, and the force of attraction between them is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So proportionality can be removed with the constant F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square, where G is known as a constant and this constant is known as the universal gravitational constant, right? So here, from the Newton's law of gravitation, F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square, where capital G is known as a gravitational constant, or we can call as a universal gravitational constant, and it have one constant value which I have already told you, that is a 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now what is our aim? Our aim is to find the value of the SI unit of the G. So here you can observe that when we are writing the format of the G, we can get the formula F r square upon m1 m2. So what is the F? F is nothing but the force. What is r? R is nothing but the distance. What is m1 and m2? M1 and m2, these are the masses, right? F is a force, r is a distance, m1 and m2 are the masses. Now when we are writing the formula, G is equals to F r square upon m1 m2, so here we should write the unit. What is the force? The SI unit of the force, Newton. What is r square? R is the distance. Distance is measured in terms of the meter square. So Newton meter square. Mass is measured in terms of the kg. So kilogram into kilogram, kilogram square. So Newton meter square per kilogram square, that is the SI unit of the gravitational constant. So friends, again I'm going to explain here. Look at the arrow marks here. So first quantity is a force, right? G is equals to Fr square upon m1 m2. Force have the SI unit Newton. R square. R is a distance. Distance is measured in terms of the meter. So meter into meter, meter square. So meter square. Again, m is a mass. Mass is measured in terms of the kg. So kilogram into kilogram, kilogram square. So in this we can write the SI unit of the gravitational constant is a Newton meter square per kilogram square. Friends, here we can consider if m1 and m2 is equals to 1 and the r is equals to 1, then what will happen? If all the quantities are 1, then g is equals to f. So hence the universal gravitational constant is a force of gravitation between the two particles of unit masses separated by unit distance. So its SI unit is a Newton meter square per kilogram square. Okay. Friends, again one interesting question we can see that we have already studied the topic unit cell measurement, right? So we have to find out the dimensions. So I have to calculate the dimensions of the gravitational constant. So in order to calculate the gravitational constant dimension, you may use a mathematical formula or you may use the units. So here I am using the mathematical formula, that's G is equals to F r square upon m1 m2. What is the F? F is a force. What are the dimensions for the force? 1 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 2 in time. What are the dimensions for the length? For the r, r square is there. So we can write the dimensions as L square. What are the dimensions of the mass? So m1 and m1 m square. Okay. Again I am going to write here. So as we know the mathematical formula, G is equals to Fr square upon m1 m2. Now what is my aim? My aim is to find the dimensions of the G. What is the G? G is a universal gravitational constant. So in order to find the dimension, first I can write the dimension of the force: 1 in mass, 1 in length, minus 2 in time. Right. Again L2, 2 in length, and mass, 2 in mass. Okay. Now we have to recollect it. So if we can recollect it, we can get this minus 2 will be goes to the numerator. So it will become m raised to minus 1. Now L1, this one and this 2, it will becomes L raised to 3 and T raised to minus 2. So again I am going to explain, pay proper attention so that you can get the idea. So here G is equals to F r square upon m1 m2. What are the dimension for the force? 1 in mass, 1 in length, minus 2 in time. This is a minus 2, right? So Fr square upon m1 m2, as there is a small space, I am going to write here F 1 in mass, 1 in length, minus 2 in time. R square means distance square means L square, and m1 m2 again here we can write the m square, right? So if we recollect it, what I am getting? I am getting minus 1 in mass, 3 in length, and minus 2 in time. So minus 1 in mass, 3 in length, and minus 2 in time. So these are the dimensions. So friends, you understood regarding with the Newton's law of gravitation. Then we have also studied the SI unit of the gravitational constant, that is the Newton meter square per kilogram square. Again, we have studied regarding with the dimensions. The dimension is minus 1 in mass, 3 in length, and minus 2 in time. Friend, how does the dimension comes? For that purpose, we can write the formula G is equals to F R square upon M1 M2. What is the F? F is a force. So what are the dimensions of the force? 1 in mass, minus 1 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 2 in time. Then I have taken the dimension of R square, that is the L2, and M1 M2 means M square, and I have calculated it. So minus 1 in mass, 3 in length, and minus 2 in time. So this question may be asked for the MCQ type. What are the correct dimensions of the gravitational constant? And different options will be given. Based on that, we should choose the correct options. Again, it may be asked for the 1 mark type of the question. So how it will be asked in the 1 mark type of the question, we'll see in the next question. So the question may be asked, what are the dimensions of the universal gravitational constant? So the dimensions of universal gravitational constants are, here you can observe that the 3 in length, minus 1 in mass, and minus 2 in time. So how does it comes? I have already explained to you. Friends, try to write this explanation in your notebook so that you will get the clear idea. As the dimension is a mathematical part, it will require the practice. Okay, so here you have understood regarding with the gravitational constant. Friend, today we have studied the concept. Just I am going to recall all these concepts once again. So while writing the notes, you can pause the video, you can observe, and you can write the notes in the format of the question and answers. Okay, so just I'm going to take the recall what we have studied today. So first we have studied about the Newton's law of gravitation. What is the Newton's law of gravitation? As every particle of a matter attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. So F directly proportional to the product of their masses m1 m2, inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. That is the first concept which we have studied. Then we have studied the discuss the vector form of the gravitational force between the two masses with the help of the diagram. So here we have drawn the diagram in that m1 and m2, these are the two masses separated by the distance r21. So when we are writing the r21 means we should take the difference as a 2 to 1, and when we are taking the r12 then the difference of the 1 to 2. So you can observe here vector r21 means vector r2 minus vector r1, vector r12 means vector r1, and vector minus vector r2. Now when writing the vector format, f21 is equals to g m1 m2 upon r square and minus r21. So force is acting on the second particle due to the first. Similarly, we can write the F12 is equals to G M1 M2 upon R square, or and the distance minus vector R1 to R2. So based on that, what is our conclusion? That the force acting on the first to the second or second to the first, both are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Means vector F12 is equals to minus vector F21. That is the conclusion. So what is the conclusion? That's the vector F12 is equals to minus of vector F21. Then we have studied about the what is the why the law of gravitation is known as the universal law of gravitation. The law of gravitation is applicable to all the material objects in the universe, hence it is known as the universal law of gravitation. So that is the 1 mark type of the question. Then the next question, what do you mean by the gravitational constant and state its SI unit? So as I have told you that here we can write the law F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. Based on that, the G is equals to F r square upon m1 m2, where capital G is called as the universal gravitational constant and its value is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11, and its SI unit can be written on the formula force Newton, distance square, meter square, mass kilogram square. So we can get the Newton meter square per kilogram square. Again, if m1 and m2 is equals to 1 and r is equals to 1 meter, then F is equal to C. Then we can say the universal gravitational constant is the force of gravitation between the two particles of unit masses separated by the unit distance, having the SI unit Newton meter square per kilogram square. Then we have started the last point regarding with the dimension. So what are the dimensions of the universal gravitational constant? And the dimensions of the universal gravitational constants are 3 in length, minus 1 in time, and minus 2 in 2 in time. So how does it comes? So here I have explained to you that first write the dimension of the force, that are the 1 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 2 in time, multiply with the L square divided by m2. So if you solve, you can get the minus 1 in mass, 3 minus 1 in mass, 3 in length, and minus 2 in time. So that is the conclusion there. So I hope you have understood these total points and make the notes properly. Thank you. Have a nice day.